Someone recently asked me about extremism, or to make a video about extremism, and my first reaction was like, well, what do you mean? Because extremism is one of those things that means nothing and everything at the same time. There are certain people that, oh, I pray 5 times a day, whoa, you're extreme. Or I have a beard, wow, wait a second, you're extreme, right? So it's this completely subjective thing. But then I talked to the brother a little bit more, and he explained to me what he meant by that. And he was telling me a story, and it was sad, about how there was a group of Muslims from the country where he's from, where they have their own sort of activities and their own sort of lessons and things like that they're doing. And if you didn't go to them and do what they said you should be doing and attend their classes, they would say that you're not a Muslim. They would say that you're a Christian, or you're this, or you're that. And so, and this is really significant to me. This is really significant to me, is that in telling the story, he was like, well, this group of people, they said that they were all about like the hadith and following the hadith. So maybe what it is, he's trying to work it out, right? Because he doesn't want to just throw Islam away. He's trying to work it out for himself. So he's saying, well, maybe it's that, we really just have to follow the Quran, and maybe the hadith, it's not so important. Look at what these people did to him. You see the reaction to that's extremism, that they chased this person away from the guidance of the Prophet ﷺ. Now they have him suspicious of hadith because these bozos who appointed themselves as representatives of the hadith, etc., etc., and yet the things that they're doing are contrary to Islam, give it a bad name and chase them away. And so I had to, sit down with them and tell them, like, no, the hadith are essential and they're important, and like they explain the Quran and they show us how to apply everything, and there's ways that we have to differentiate between authentic hadith and not authentic hadith, and etc., etc. But the damage was already done, right? So no, that's the type of extremism. Any type of person who Sheikh Abdullah used to say it so well. He used to tell us there are people who put the religion in the service of themselves, and then there are people who put themselves in the service of the religion. There are people, if you put the religion in the service of yourselves, you're calling to yourself and your group, and anybody who doesn't come to your group is against Islam. That's extremism. I'm sorry, because you don't own Islam. Islam is not just yours. You do not get to speak for it 100%, such that everything that you say is Islam and everything that you don't say is not. Sorry. Sheikh Abdullah also used to say that the truth is distributed, broken up and distributed amongst you. Maybe you've got 90% of it. Maybe 90% of what you say is true. Maybe 70% of what he says is true. Maybe 50% of what I say is true. Right? Nobody owns this deen. And the second that people try to put themselves forward like they are the final word, and there's a lot of sneaky ways that people do this. The scholars, that's my favorite one, right? Well, the scholars say this, well, the scholars say that, right? And this person basically puts themselves up as a gatekeeper to say that, well, I'm the one person who's going to tell you what the scholars do and don't say. You know how many scholars there are in the world? You're saying that, are you claiming to represent all the scholars? Or just the real ones, just the ones who are on the truth, right, supposedly? That's extremism. Anytime when someone's calling to themselves, and I can't remember who told us this in Medina, but it was a good metric, it was a good way to figure out. The person who is sincere, they are happy wherever you get your guidance from. If you're being a better Muslim, you go to this sheikh, you go to that sheikh, you go here, you go there. And somebody who has a poor intention, that person who is just calling to themselves, in reality, they're only happy if they're guided through themselves. They're only happy if people come to them. And if people go somewhere else, a different masjid, a different sheikh, a different whatever, subscribe to a different YouTube channel, like, oh, this person is astray, this person is misguided, may Allah guide them.